Hey guys, and welcome back to ArxangelRC. Today we're going to have a look at the Eachine DVR03. Now this little unit packs a whole bunch of features into just 7.4 grams. That includes a camera, a video transmitter, a 720p DVR function and a playback function, so quite a lot of stuff in that small weight. And it's also switchable output power, so you can even turn it off if you need to for some reason. Now, out of all of the copters that I have, the Falcon 120 is the smallest one that could easily carry the camera. The E90X, it has just too small a frame to fit this easily and would take too much modification, and the QX80 just doesn't have the power to carry this around. So the Falcon 120 would be the perfect platform for this, and I've been wanting to shave off some weight off of it and see how that's gonna work out. So that's what we're gonna do right now. And first step was to remove the stock electronics, and those are 35 grams, so I'm already ahead by a lot. And the camera weighs 7.4, so that's, you know, a lot of weight saved. Now the stock video transmitter was powered by 12S by 3S directly from the battery, so that wouldn't work for the DVR03, so I soldered an additional wire on a 5-volt rail on the flight controller to power the DVR. I also printed a nylon antenna guard that will go around the antenna and prevent it from being damaged in the event of a crash. The stock antenna did that for the stock system, but there's no way to mount that antenna so hard here, so I had to print a U-shaped protector. It's strong, it's elastic and wouldn't break. It would protect the camera. Already tested it. I used a toothpick to hold it to the top plate of the frame, and that would break off in the case of a hard crash, so it wouldn't damage the frame in any way. So this is the whole setup completed. Really didn't take long. It was pretty easy to do. Just out with the old, in with the new. I even wrapped the cable around the toothpick to sort of tidy it up and get it out of the way. Now the user manual is pretty good at explaining what the buttons do and how to operate this, but in any case, let me show you how this thing works. So when you first power it on, three things are gonna rotate on the screen: the channel, the band, and the output power. Short presses of the button change the channels, so you have 8 channels per band, and you have 9 bands, a total of 72 channels. This is ridiculous. So holding the button for 2 seconds is gonna allow you to change the bands. Now I'm using band A3, so I'm gonna rotate back to A band, but you can switch between 72 channels if you need to. And holding that same button for 5 seconds is gonna get you to the power output change setting. When it's set to 0, no output power, no transmission. One dash is 25 milliwatts, 2 dashes 50, and 3 200 milliwatts. Now keep in mind that this thing gets hot. Now it's set up at 25 milliwatts, and the temperature after a minute or two of working is almost 67 degrees, and after another 30 seconds it goes up to almost 69 degrees. At 200 milliwatts it goes close to 80 degrees. So if you're gonna do a lot of setup, turn the power off and only turn it on before you go flying. Now as for the DVR menu, we have a few more options. Now what you see here is that when the camera is powered, it immediately starts recording. So if you want to stop that recording, don't forget to press the middle button, and also don't forget to press the middle button to stop the recording when you're done flying, otherwise it will corrupt the file. As you can see here, there is some delay, and I didn't see that quite clearly right there, but I did notice it when I went flying. So pressing the button once, the middle button, CS2 once, will stop the recording. Pressing it again will start a new file. And that's fine, you know, standard operation. Holding down the button for 2 or 3 seconds will get you into the menu. And in the menu you have a few options, formatting the SD card, resetting to factory, light frequency, video output, language, and a few other things. And also video time. That determines the length of the video clips that the camera will record. So first I want to change to PAL because that's what I prefer, has higher vertical resolution. And the second page actually has an option to turn on and off sound recording. So for those who don't need it, they can turn it off. You'll have no recording in the video. So holding the CS1 button for a second will get you into the playback menu, and it's really impressive how much stuff is in this thing. And top right corner it will show you video name and duration, and with the middle button you can play some clips. So you can see here playback, and I'm waving my hand in front of the camera. Just a second, there we go. And the playback seems smooth, so there's no delay during playback, but of course it's unusable during flight. Somebody has to press those buttons. Pressing it again will stop the playback, and holding the CS1 button will get you back into the camera mode. Now, there was in the manual, there was another menu that's supposed to be short click, long click on the CS2 button, but the only thing that does, as far as I was able to determine, was to hide the recording timer for some reason and stop the recording, and that's about it. The only way to bring the recording timer back would be to go into the playback menu and exit the playback menu. So that's, you know, weird, and that additional menu was not there. So that aside, now you've seen how to operate this. In the meantime, I also managed to shave off 10 more grams by replacing the battery and ESC power cables and connectors, and now we're 34 grams lighter. The protector is 4 grams, 2 point something, and the camera 7.4, so 11 grams minus 45, so it's a total of 34 grams that I've saved, and that's around 15% from the all-up weight, and that's a substantial amount. Now at the field here you can see the choppy effect I told you about when DVR is recording, and you get the same effect on the Eachine DVR03 goggles, but then you have the option to switch out of the DVR mode and just look at the goggles. In here I haven't found that option, and if somebody knows about this, please let me know, because otherwise I wouldn't use this to its full potential. And if there's an option to switch out of the DVR mode but it would still record, but you can see the raw feed, please let me know, because then this thing would be a whole nother story. Right now it's just either smooth video of decent quality without 720p recording, or 720p recording and very choppy video. Another thing you have to be careful of is dynamic range. Now when you go against the sun or a bright source of light, it will take its time to adjust the sensor. You can see it in the flights here, and same goes for dark. You go into the dark, it will take its time, it's not instant. So this is definitely not suitable for flying in and out of parking garages. And I would say when the DVR is recording, you can see it, this is choppy and not really doesn't really allow you to fly quick and close to the ground as most racers do. during those flips I literally saw a few stop frames, and that's about it until the flip was done. Thankfully I wasn't in air mode, I was in stabilize or horizon, whichever one allows for that. The camera, the DVR itself records a pretty nice video. This is directly from the camera, what it recorded, and I'm pretty happy with that quality. I also managed to crash test the protector and it works great. And when you power the camera, this is the first thing you see, and then the sensor would take its time to adjust, and see how slow that is. That's what I'm talking about. So make sure you don't fly in and out of dark spaces into the light, like from parking garages into the light, or vice versa, because for a few seconds there you will not see anything. So flying without a DVR recording is a whole different story. The thing is actually usable for some you know, flying, because it's not choppy. You do flips, you do whatever, you don't see just stop frames and then it's level, you just see the whole motion. And really disappointing, because it's either get some nice onboard footage, but be very careful how you fly, and fly slowly, and don't do that crazy stuff that's really impressive and nice to watch, or do that stuff but have no recording, which actually eliminates the need for this to be an all-in-one unit. You can do the same with the VTX03 and some other nicer camera. You'd at least have more resolution on the ground. So I don't know, the DVR recording is pretty nice. I mean, it's 720p, it's not Full HD, it's not 4K, but for 7.4 grams, this is pretty good all on its own. Even if you don't use it as a camera, you just switch the TX power off and just use it as a DVR camera. That being said, I don't know, it's okay. Maybe if you want to fly indoors on a smaller copter that flies slowly, and you're new to this and you want to record your videos, maybe this might be good, but then you have to deal with all that choppy thingy. I really hate it, and really makes this product very hard to find a use for, other than desoldering the antenna, turning the TX power off, and just using it as a DVR. I will try to find a way to bypass somehow the DVR bit, but I don't know. Right now, that's it. And if somebody knows how to switch out of the DVR mode once you've started the recording, please let me know. Now, another use for it would be to turn off TX power and mount it on my Shuriken as a very light 720p recorder, or on the tail of one of my planes in the same manner. At least you have the option to turn off the TX bit, so at least it wouldn't interfere with existing systems. So you know, that about concludes my review. If you liked it and found it useful, you can find more reviews at ArxangelRC.blogspot.com or on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And that's it for now. I hope I make this work somehow, and I will see you later.